your side handled pressure not only from the start of the game, but on the back foot, but also when the whips were cracking in that last quarter?
I thought they handled it really well. Considering there was a lot of pressure coming in, massive stage, and then to start the way we did, the pressure went through the roof. So, I guess to reset the way we did, to the maturity our boys showed, led by Dorse at quarter time, to be able to bring the game back to even keel at half time, I thought was another way to win, another way in what was a finals atmosphere, and our opposition were at final standard. They had all the momentum, they had the energy. It's how they play. They're a very, very good side, especially when they get things on their terms. And thank goodness the quarter time siren blew.
You've talked a lot about momentum swings and being better at absorbing them, which clearly this year you have, but that was a whole other test tonight. Quarter time siren helps you, but what were the other keys to getting things back in your direction?
Yeah, we were a little off tonight in some key areas that our guys know about, and that's probably what allowed us to turn it around. The worst thing is to not know what's going wrong. We were really clear in that break on where the game was getting away from us. That's a great sign. It means we've got clarity as a group. The worrying sign was why weren't we executing? Sometimes it's the opposition are too good. They looked a lot sharper than us early. We were a little off, but it happens in games. Tonight's the first night in a while we've had multiple goals. I think we had 5 a couple of times kicked in a row. It just shows that we weren't at our best. But it's not always perfect, and that's something that we're working our way through as a group. The ability to still be able to perform even when it's not perfect and get a result. And it was an awesome result for us in the end to be able to do that.
How much does it speak to the maturity of the group? I heard you mentioned that there was a calmness about the quarter time huddle. Didn't need to be any sprays or anything. How much does it speak to the maturity of the group and the trust, I think, of where you're at?
Yeah.
You can just have that approach and trust that they will turn it around.
Well, that's probably I think that's the key word. We being the staff, we trust our playing group completely because it's been years of work. They trust us, and so in that moment there's no need for yelling and screaming. You go back 3 or 4 years, you'll probably find me yelling and screaming at a quarter time break. I look back on that and I think, well, that's me not necessarily trusting that we're all on the same page, and maybe then we weren't. It took us time to get to that and show that maturity, but tonight it was calm. It was take a breath, come together, led by our captain, which is incredible because his first quarter I know he wasn't happy with, but his ability just to look me in the eye and say we're okay, and so pleasing, and it was, if you think about the game, there were just massive moments. Forget about the first quarter when the game was on and it was close. Some of the stuff. Some of the individual, even though we back our team in, but some of the times, Tex, to have the ball in his hands twice and for him to, finish off. Isaac Rankin, forward 50 stoppage. I thought Josh Worrell, the way he finished the game off, it showed the form he's in, has been all year. Dan Curtin, my favourite. Actually, I can't say that. The rest of them will get upset, but just the way, a couple of times he attacked the ball in that last quarter, you just go, wow. So yeah, it's a pretty happy change room at the moment.
It's the thing, Matthew, like that you are winning those big moments. Is that maturity? Is it the confidence? How, you've touched on it again tonight, but what do you put it down to?
Well, I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a trust in the group, in that when it's my turn, the group trusts me, I trust myself, because possession-wise, we didn't have anyone over 30 tonight, and this has been consistent for us. It's been just across the board. Everyone contributes, whether it's, you might be contributing, it's not kicking the goal, but maybe you were defensively stable behind the ball, it allowed us to get the ball to Tex, right? So we we go back and we look through all of that. The little things that are done off ball, there are so many plays that are super important that help Isaac Rankin kick that goal from a forward 50 stoppage. Not just Riley O'Brien or whoever the ruck is tapping it. So I think that's where we've found ourselves. We just have complete trust in each other. It's a position that every sporting club wants to get into, and it's hard to stay there. We're doing whatever we can to try and stay there. Tonight at quarter time, we came together and said, hey, we've lost our way a bit here. But we're able to turn it in time.
You obviously get the experience of big games in showdowns, but tonight felt different. It was 50,000, it was ridiculously loud. At times it felt like the players couldn't really hear whistles and communicating was hard. How much of it is a good preparation is that for a finals campaign where maybe you've got to find that composure where it's pretty difficult?
Yeah, I careful to say. I'm not sure we're winning this one if it wasn't at home. 50,000, there were some Hawk supporters here, but not many compared to the South Australians in the house. It was pumping. And that brings energy and has done all year. Our supporters have been huge this year for us. But to have 50, and I mentioned the word, it was finals-like atmosphere and finals-like footy. And that's the greatest part about the lesson we just received. We played a team that is fighting to do that with us, and showed us if we're a little bit off what finals footy looks like. And so we come away from this one a fantastic lesson, and we still won.
You've done so well at keeping the players' eyes one game at a time, but you mentioned the pressure of this big game. Do you think maybe that could have been just a little bit behind it, the expectation, the big Friday night lunch, et cetera, and do you think that's what you need to gear up for September, to know that you've got to bring that best or it could fall over quickly?
Yeah, no, I probably have more trust in our group. I think we looked a little sluggish off the mark in the first quarter. Coming off a couple of 6 days, we know it's a challenge. And it's never an excuse because every team does it. In fact, we have 5-day breaks. I think what's shown across the league is it's tough to do. And we looked a little sluggish earlier. I don't think it was us getting ahead of ourselves. It was a team where at quarter time, you've got to clap your hands at how good Hawthorn were in that first quarter. They were too good for us. They were sharp with their hands. They were faster on the loose ball. As I mentioned before, sometimes you just need that time out to come in and just reset yourselves. And that's what I'm so pleased that we were able to do.
How significant do you feel like your home ground advantage is at the moment? You've only lost one game here. You've had 2 or 3 of those big momentum swing wrestles back in your favour during the year, and are obviously chasing home finals to potentially get that again. How big an advantage do you feel like it is?
I think it's. Well, I think it's like most teams, but ours is on another level. AO is a cauldron. Teams love coming to play here. The atmosphere is incredible, and our support. But I'm biased, right? Our supporters are the best in the comp. Collingwood might have a fight with us on that one, but they are. We get 50,000 of them in here, and it's just us. MCG's a little different. You got 50 of each, but. Yeah, we love playing footy here. We know the ground well. I think our preference would always be to play at home in front of our supporters.
Last couple of guys, we talked before, there's been various comments about continuity. Junior getting continuity this year and being able to play regularly, something he hasn't really done for recent seasons. How important has he been getting those games under his belt and being a weapon for you at the season?
Yeah, he looks, and I obviously haven't gone back. We don't know the detail. I haven't looked at the stats or anything, but I thought he was at his best tonight. I thought he looked really sharp. It's super important. I mean, even Isaac coming to be able to get himself to the point where he is last week was a no-risk approach because of what he'd been able to get to. Junior now playing the majority of this season and looking really strong in the body. Again, touch wood, we continue to trust the work we've done as a group over years, and our high performance group and the way they go about it. But the buy-in has to be from the player, that they've got to go to work and understand what a professional looks like. we'll still have more challenges now coming into the next 3 weeks. You know, we've got a trip away up next. It's a slightly longer break, which will be good for us, but we've got to get that break right as well.
Is Isaac ranking in the top 5, 10 players of the game? I mean, since Rochelle's gone out of the side, he's seen him play mostly forward, but then spends a fair bit of time in midfield later on and kicks those extraordinary goals in the last minute. Again, he's the X factor for you.
Well, I believe he is, but there are so many good players in the league, and I don't want to be disrespectful because I'll watch games sometimes and go, oh, wow, Nick Dacos he's an extraordinary footballer, and Bontempelli last night, and there are so many good players, but Isaac Rankin sits right up there with all of those guys as far as I'm concerned. But again, that's our boys, right? I'm a bit biased when it comes to our players.
Did you feel like Tex was kicking those goals just based on the moment, his history, everything?
Never in doubt.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.